David. Thank you very much. So just to get the creative juices going here, I'd like to ask, if you're from the GTA, please stand up. Great. And if you're from outside of the GTA, please stand up and join as well. So if I can ask you to all sit down, and if you're an emerging leader, if you feel like you're part of the next generation of leadership, stand up again. Does age matter? Perfect. You are part of the next generation of leaders too. Thank you, Alan, for your friendship and partnership. My day job at Infrastructure Ontario, the OCC is great to work with, whether it's on transportation infrastructure or alternative service delivery. You're doing great things. It's humbling for me to be before you with great leaders like Kevin Lynch and Sheldon Levy, but I think it's important to have the voice of the next generation at your table. I'm always excited to come to Niagara. It's great memories for me. I got married just down the road, and it's especially excellent to be back at the OCC again this year. Every year you involve a greater diversity of speakers and participants, and that's important. It's good for your membership and it's good for business in Ontario. Today is a big day. As you focus on business priorities, the government is releasing its economic statement. I want to make sure that all of you are informed by the next generation, by the views of young people who want to lead. Last weekend, I had the opportunity to co-chair a conference of young leaders brought together by CivicAction to discuss how we can strengthen our economy. This was our 5th annual event, and 150 young people came together to figure out how we can increase economic opportunities in the GTA. It was just like your conference today, except everyone was under 40. Building on David Pico's legacy and John Tory's commitment now, CivicAction is making an explicit effort to work with the private sector. We created a coalition of emerging leaders and business-minded people at our conference. This included the CEO of TD Canada Trust, the chair of the Council of Ontario Universities, an apprentice from the Central Ontario Building Trades, the founder of the second fastest growing renewable energy startup in Canada, entrepreneurs from Ryerson's Digital Media Zone, and many more. Our summit had 2 drivers that jumped out. They're critical to the health and wealth of our economy. First, engaging the private sector, and second, investing in people. These drivers hit home for me personally. My father, a small-town boy turned lawyer, built one of the best local firms in Kitchener-Waterloo. Like other business owners, he put his heart and soul into making a successful company. My mother, a teacher by training, worked for 20 years in cooperative education at the University of Guelph. Her passion was getting students jobs in the private sector. Talk at our dinner table helped me to appreciate how hard it was back then to get students a job and to keep a business in the black. I can't help but to think that it's even harder today. Studies show that many people and many families are having a tough time, and that immigrants, Aboriginals, and at-risk youth face more serious challenges. Studies are one thing. Listening to young people's stories makes it real. Let me tell you what I heard at our conference. Young leaders feel that intergenerational downloading is real and wonder if we will have the resources to deal with the responsibilities that are being handed to us. Young leaders feel that we cannot continue to cut up the same economic pie into smaller and smaller pieces and still maintain our social fabric and economic potential. And many young leaders have a realistic view that we must work with private sector leaders to create change. This should give you confidence that tomorrow's leaders are already taking a sense of ownership about Ontario's future. We know that tough choices need to be made, yet we remain optimistic. We debated how to strike the right balance between the number of university and college graduates and how all graduates can be more job-ready for industries where there are jobs. We questioned if the private sector should put more money into employee training to reverse the 20-year trend of decreasing investment in skills. We considered the consequences of temporary work arrangements and the fact that young people are often competing with those closer to retirement or often offshore. We agreed that internships and apprenticeships need to be valued and respected and safe ways to start a career. We asked if we have cultural or structural blocks to entrepreneurism and wondered if business succession for existing companies has just as much potential as new business startups. With this deeper level of understanding, the emerging leaders pitched ideas about what to do next. For example, why not set new targets with incentives for the private sector to increase investment in employee skills training? We wondered if we can return to 1993 levels by 2018. How about creating new awards to recognize companies with the highest standards for internships? We thought that the carrot of positive brand recognition could be a powerful tool to attract and retain talent. What about developing new entrepreneurism in education initiatives? We imagined the benefits of matching retired skilled trade people or entrepreneurs with high schools to help students choose the right career path. Or building on what Wilfrid Laurier University is doing across all of its faculties, we anticipate that there would be good returns if every university student took an entrepreneurship course. Another idea, why not create a small capital pool for microcredit competition? We looked at the UK's Micro Tyco enterprise and thought that young leaders here would get excited about leveraging tiny loans to create new businesses. Or what about gathering data to further our understanding of the competitiveness of our cities and towns? For example, a new global cities ranking called Youthful Cities will be announced before the end of November. 25 international cities, including Toronto, will be ranked according to 100 indicators developed by emerging leaders. We should expand Youthful Cities to have modern data about more communities across Ontario. These are just 5 ideas. I know they won't change the world in a day, but they could be part of a bigger vision and action now. What is encouraging is they show ambition from young people to create value. These ideas show the potential of new leaders. CivicAction has a track record of taking ideas and making things happen. For example, Toronto Homecoming is a CivicAction startup designed to attract Ontarians who are working abroad to come home. Over 4 years, 40% of the 300 participants have moved back to the GTA to work and live. The private sector has invested over $250,000 to make this initiative a success. Bringing emerging leaders home gives us a competitive advantage abroad. We want to turn more ideas into results like these. You have a part to play with us. To continue building momentum, our leaders established a small startup fund to invest in new initiatives. We would welcome private sector investment. The other day, we rang the bell to open the Toronto Stock Exchange to show business leaders that we are open to new partnerships. In closing, I ask you to think about what you can do today to invest in the leaders tomorrow. CivicAction is taking a leadership role to make things happen for more young people. We are creating a new generation of leaders that can help you and your businesses succeed. We can help you to solve your business problems and create new economic opportunities, and that will make for a better Ontario. Thank you.